Are you curious about how disappearing from someone's life can impact them emotionally? In this video, we delve into the profound insights from Buddhism on the 5 emotions people might experience when you vanish unexpectedly. Lesson 1. Silence becomes torture. In the silence left behind when you disappear, there is a kind of pain that stretches deep within the hearts of those who once knew you. Silence, in its purest form, is often seen as peaceful, but when it suddenly takes over a relationship or a bond, it turns into something far more agonizing. In Buddhism, we learn that everything is impermanent. Relationships, like everything in life, change. The moment we lose the connection we once had, the absence is felt like an empty space that refuses to be filled. The silence you leave behind does not simply disappear. It lingers in the thoughts of those who once shared words, laughter, and moments with you. The silence becomes a mirror of their inner thoughts and feelings. They begin to overthink, wondering what went wrong, why you left, and what could have been done differently. In Buddhist teachings, we are reminded of the concept of attachment. When we are attached to people, their absence creates a void. It's the attachment that turns silence into torture. The silence forces those who remain to face their own fears and uncertainties. They are left alone with their own reflections, questioning their own worth and significance. As Buddhist monks teach, true peace is not found in the absence of sound or people, but in the presence of inner calm. But for those who experience the silence after your disappearance, it feels like a harsh reminder that peace is something they must now learn to find within themselves. This lesson teaches us that while silence may seem like a passive state, it can be a powerful catalyst for personal growth. The pain of silence can teach those left behind the importance of self-reliance and emotional maturity. Through this silence, they must learn how to heal themselves and find peace within, rather than seeking it from external sources. Lesson 2. Memories feel golden as time passes. Memories of the moments shared with you become cherished treasures. In Buddhism, we are reminded that all things are impermanent, and memories are no exception. However, when someone disappears, memories are the only tangible connection left. What once seemed ordinary becomes extraordinary. Every smile, every word, and every shared experience becomes like gold in the hearts of those who remember. The mind clings to the past, holding on to the most precious moments. These memories are not just fleeting images, but emotional anchors that bring comfort to those who miss you. In Buddhism, the mind is often compared to a river, constantly flowing and changing. Yet memories have the power to freeze moments in time, creating an illusion of permanence. This attachment to the past can be both beautiful and painful. As memories of you begin to fade, the people left behind may start to idealize what once was. The memory of your presence becomes amplified, creating a sense of longing. But Buddhism teaches that attachment to the past is a form of suffering. Holding on to the golden memories can prevent growth and acceptance of the present moment. Those who remain must learn to appreciate the memories without being trapped in them. The beauty of memories is that they serve as reminders of the connections we have made and the lessons we have learned. But it is important not to let those memories become a cage. In Buddhism, the teachings of non-attachment guide us to appreciate memories without allowing them to dictate our future. As painful as it is to let go, true peace comes from accepting that the past is gone, and the present is where we must live fully. Lesson 3. Distance became the lesson. When you disappear, distance becomes more than just physical space. It becomes a profound lesson. Buddhist teachings emphasize the concept of detachment. Detachment does not mean abandoning or ignoring others, but it involves understanding the impermanence of relationships and the need to let go when necessary. Distance in this context is not just the space between two people, but the emotional and spiritual distance that begins to grow when someone fades away. It forces the person left behind to confront their own emotions, beliefs, and attachments. In Buddhism, we are encouraged to look inward and develop self-awareness. Distance teaches the importance of self-reflection and inner growth. At first, the distance feels like a sharp ache. It may seem unbearable, and there is a natural urge to close the gap, to reconnect. But distance offers the opportunity for personal development. Without the constant presence of another person, the individual must learn to rely on themselves. This is the core of Buddhist teachings, understanding that happiness comes from within. Distance can also be a powerful teacher of impermanence. When someone leaves, it is a reminder that nothing is fixed. People come and go. In the same way that relationships change, so too do our attachments and expectations. The lesson here is not about waiting for the return of the person who left, but about finding the strength to walk alone and trust that the journey will lead to greater self-discovery. Lesson 4. Need for closure. The need for closure is a deep longing that arises when someone disappears without explanation or resolution. Buddhism teaches us about the nature of suffering and the importance of acceptance. The desire for closure comes from a place of attachment. When we are attached to someone, we want the story to have an ending, a conclusion that brings peace to our restless minds. Without closure, there is a feeling of incompleteness. It's as though something remains unresolved, and that lingering question refuses to leave. This is where Buddhist teachings on mindfulness come into play. Mindfulness teaches us to focus on the present moment and let go of the need for answers that may never come. In a world where everything is temporary, closure is often an illusion. The need for closure can lead to endless cycles of questioning and seeking answers that may never satisfy. Buddhism encourages us to accept things as they are, without needing to control or manipulate the outcome. Sometimes closure does not come from an external source but from within. It is the ability to let go of the attachment to an explanation and trust that everything unfolds as it should. In this lesson, the challenge is to embrace the unknown and find peace in the uncertainty. The desire for closure can be a source of suffering, and true liberation comes from accepting that not all stories have a neat ending. By letting go of the need for closure, we allow ourselves to move forward with greater freedom and wisdom. Lesson 5. Regret. Regret is one of the most painful emotions that can arise after someone disappears. It's the feeling that we could have done something differently, said something more, or acted in a way that would have changed the outcome. Buddhism teaches us that regret is a form of clinging to the past. It's the mental attachment to what could have been, rather than what is. Regret holds us in the past and prevents us from fully experiencing the present moment. The more we focus on what we should have done, the more we deny ourselves the opportunity to heal and grow. In Buddhist philosophy, the concept of karma teaches that our actions in the past influence our present, but it is never too late to act in ways that create a positive future. Regret does not define us. It is merely a passing emotion that can teach us valuable lessons. The lesson here is that while regret may come naturally, it is not something we should dwell on. We must learn to forgive ourselves and others. In Buddhism, forgiveness is not just about letting go of anger, but about releasing the attachment to guilt and shame. Regret, when held onto too tightly, becomes a heavy burden. But when we understand that it is a natural part of life, we can learn to release it and move forward. Regret teaches us that nothing in life is permanent, and neither are our mistakes. By accepting the impermanence of our actions and their consequences, we can free ourselves from the shackles of regret. Through mindfulness and self-compassion, we can learn to live with no regret, focusing on the present moment and the opportunities that lie ahead. The disappearance of someone leaves behind deep, emotional imprints. Through the lens of Buddhism, we see that these emotions, silence, memories, distance, closure, and regret, are all part of the natural ebb and flow of life. By embracing the impermanence of all things, we can learn to navigate these feelings with wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness, finding peace even in the most challenging moments.